Okay, Liam, why in the world do you have a chapter section in your video at early December? Because up at this video, you don't have them. Not in Jigglypuff video, not in Execute video, hell, not even the tidal wave of Tentacruel video. So what gives? And before anyone gonna ask, YouTube introduced this mechanic since May 2018, 2020. This video came out in December 5th, 2020. If Liam doesn't know about that, then he should do that at the Butterfree or Abra episode.
As the episode begins, Ash and Co find themselves in the beautiful Grandpa Canyon. Aha, get it? Grandpa, because stuff's old here? Cartoons love subtlety, don't they?
Apparently Liam didn't watch season 4, episode 1 of Thomas the Tank Engine series, where Stu and Falcon sometimes call Duke Grandpuff. That episode came out 4 years before that. What I'm saying is, you are taking children's show seriously.
Oh my god, it's Gary! It's been ages since we've seen him, and he's cosplaying Indiana Jones for no reason. God, don't you hate that one friend? Everybody's got one, that one friend that can't just go on a cool adventure. They have to go out and get all the gear as well. Like when you go paintballing and that one douche...
Skip!
Brock doesn't feel comfortable digging up fossils that have been lying in the ground for thousands of years. Brock, mate, if they're fossils, they're dead. They won't mind. Misty thinks if they've been underground for so long, they deserve some fresh air. Misty, mate, if they're fossils, they're dead. They're not worried about fresh air. These kids are dumb. Pass it on.
And Liam still doesn't understand kids again.
Also, Jigglypuff's here, but nobody notices it, so they all walk away before Jigglypuff can start singing, which of course annoys Jigglypuff. Jigglypuff, just learn to shout or something.
Wait, what you said?
Jigglypuff, just learn to shout or something.
Learn to shower?
Jigglypuff, just learn to shout or something. Learn to shout or learn to shout or learn to shout or... Gary is excited to find his first Pokemon fossil, which turns out to be fossilized Pokemon manure. You know, poo. Poopy. Poo. 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 Poop. I mean, everybody acts like this is super gross, but I'm pretty sure scientists do and have learned things from fossilized animal waste, so surely this discovery isn't totally worthless.
That's legit true. Fossilized poop does contain information about what animals eat in the ancient times, especially the giant herbivore. While this is Liam still don't understand kids again, but I'll let this slide for now, because of that information.
Brock is suspicious that so many people are hunting fossils in this location, but nobody's found any, causing him to question whether this great fossil rush is even real. Ash responds with,
"Sure it is."
His evidence? Excellent articulation there, Ketchum. You did such a great job of really proving yourself to be right by citing absolutely no sources. You'd have a great career on Twitter.
I with Liam here. This is a critical trigger level gatekeeping there. Like, Ash, explain the reason why is it so important. Then just say, "Sure it can," and leave it hanging.
Meowth does me a favour by smacking Team Rocket on the head when they're in the middle of reciting their own motto to literally nobody, so that I don't have to mention it.
Well, actually, Liam, aren't you mentioning it right now?
Only so I can point out that this is definitely no longer a WTF moment anymore, because these two are just obsessed with reciting their motto to anybody that will listen, even if it's no one.
It's called practice, Liam. You know, like anyone does to make things as great or amazing as possible? Well, except UK government. They shouldn't have rushed the OSA system update like that. Ratchet bastards.
James says that once they blast Grandpa canyon to smithereens, they'll be able to scoop up all the Pokémon fossils. I mean, if you destroy the canyon, isn't there a good chance you'll destroy all the fossils too? Like, if you're going to blow it to smithereens, all the fossils going to get blown to smithereens as well. I wouldn't be too confident with this plan, mate.
Ash and Co overhear Team Rocket talking about using dynamite to blow up the canyon, and they point out that all the people hunting fossils nearby will be caught in the blast. Mate, when did Team Rocket make the jump from petty Pokémon thieves to literal mass murderers?
Are you serious? When Team Rocket make the jump from petty thieves to mass murderer? Since episode 12, dumbass, where they use a rocket launcher at the stool to get what they want.
Ash sends out Squirtle to use his water gun to put out the dynamite fuse, and it can't hit it to save its life. Squirtle, you're a water-type Pokemon. You literally have one job, and that's hit things with water.
Dude, have you held a water pistol while stressed before? Because that is not easy to aim when you don't have a calm mind, eh?
Ash's Squirtle takes time out from chasing the fuse to do a backflip. Come on, Squirtle, mate, this is life and death. Take it seriously.
First off, that was 1 second of backflip. Okay. Second, have you ever get that Squirtle got stuck on his back when he tripped over in episode 12? Which, that is the reason why he did a backflip for?
Aside from the disappointing lack of the Benny Hill theme throughout this scene, I'd like to point out the outline of not running like slants as a personal highlight.
Oh look, another Indiana Jones reference, I guess. Also, I'm trying to work out the logistics of these 5 creatures forming a perfectly spherical boulder that rolls down the mountain so cleanly, but at the same time, I then remember this is a cartoon, so logic is basically moot.
The w.t.f moment at the famous scene cliche.
So they all collide with each other and end up landing about 15 feet from the dynamite, and there is a lot of dynamite. I guess this is the end for them? Or maybe it's just a typical Wednesday night.
I've made a pop culture reference that isn't w.t.f. moment cliche.
Look at the size of that explosion. That's Nuketown levels of destruction. Surely there is no way anyone could have survived that blast. Remember when Brock was saying all the people digging would be caught in the blast? Well, apparently all the people digging were totally fine and barely even noticed there was an explosion, and Ash and Team Rocket, who were right next to it, are also totally fine. Look, I get that this is anime, but this lot should be dust.
The blast was big enough to create huge cracks in the earth, but Ash Ketchum is completely unaffected. This is bollocks.
Mate, what the hell are you talking about? Are you referring to the explosion range? Effect on Ash? Because it's an indication that the explosion range wasn't that big as the scene suggested. But the reality of the moment is that why Weezing fall in the crack despite the fact that thing does float?
You blew it, man.
Oh look, the cave that Ash and Team Rocket fell into didn't fill to the brim with falling debris. The boulders falling in conveniently blocked the hole at the top of the cave. Look, I'm all for plot armor, but this is a little bit on the nose. Do you realize how lucky the boulders not falling through the hole but instead just plugging it is? It's pretty ridiculous odds.
No, it's not ridiculous art. And you say that since you have a literal sandtine in your brain. And if anyone noticed how deep it is before Ash and Team Rocket vanish? Yeah, that's pretty damn deep. And since we also saw cracks filled up with literal mountain pile, do I say more?
Jesse hears James chuckle and asks if he has a solution to their problem. He simply responds, "We're all doomed." And honestly, in situations like this, I'm always like James. I just assume the worst and give up trying before we've even had time to fully understand the situation. I'm not proud of it, I just find it relatable.
Wow. Hey, Megatron, what do you say about that?
You're an idiot, Starscream.
Suddenly it's revealed that Ash, Pikachu, and Team Rocket are not alone in this cave, as a bunch of Kabuto, Kabutops, Omni, and Omastar are revealed to be in there too. My question here is, why don't they immediately try and catch them? Ash literally has a Bulbasaur, which would completely steamroll these rock and water fossil Pokemon. Ash has a chance to bang them all here and doesn't even try. Oh yeah, get out of your system.
Alright, praise Helix.
Yes, very good. We all remember Twitch plays Pokemon, but that first run was 6 years ago. Just let it die.
You really shouldn't give him ideas. You really should give him ideas.
Ash Ash comments on the eyes of the fossil Pokemon and says how they seem really angry, but fails to notice that one Kabuto's color scheme is completely swapped around. Open your eyes, Ash! There's a shiny Kabuto right there, and shinies haven't even been invented yet.
Well, actually, Liam, that's not really a shiny Kabuto. The animators must have just swapped the colors round by mistake.
I mean, we all already know that Kabuto's shiny is green. It's a fantastic shiny, but honestly, I wouldn't mind if this was the shiny version.
I doubted that, because people don't like yellow shinies. Not saying that it's bad or something, but it's the way the shiny is looked in the different versions. For example, for Pix, where the shiny colors is so bright and exotic it is. So clean and so beautiful in Gen 5 sprite color. But Gen 6... yeah... let's just say we are so glad we had a green shiny Kabuto instead of... what the hell Gen 6 is doing with the colors?
Team Rocket posit that maybe the fossil Pokemon weren't fossilized but had actually just been sleeping for thousands of years. Surely it's more likely that they've just been living underground away from the sight of humans and therefore as a result have remained unchanged for thousands of years. I refuse to believe Kabuto of all Pokemon has a 1,000+ year lifespan, which is what you're suggesting. If you're suggesting it's been asleep for 1,000 years, you're also suggesting it's been alive for 1,000 years.
Yeah, not gonna lie, that is a bizarre idea there, James. Like, seriously, what was that? What was that?
Team Rocket try and capture Kabutops, but it just bats away the Pokeballs with its giant scythe things, which begs the question, how do these bloody Pokeball things work? The Pokeballs hit the Pokemon, so surely that should start the catching process, should it not?
Well, actually, Liam, I'm pretty sure Kabutops knew the Pokeballs were coming towards it, so that's why it was able to swap them away.
Okay, but what about Meowth, who was definitely hit by the Pokeballs by surprise? Should have caught him at least.
As you can see here, Kabutops turn attacks the backside of the Pokeball to make sure it doesn't get captured by it.
Although one thing that will never catch you by surprise is me telling you to use code ACE for money off G.
Okay, two things. When Ash decides the only solution is to battle, why does he send out Charmeleon, a fire type, against a horde of rock and water type Pokemon? I know Ash is an idiot, but come on, this much? And two, why does he throw Charmeleon's Pokeball so far away from the action? Surely you'd want your Pokemon to be between you and the imminent danger, not behind you. Even Pikachu's like, bruh. When Charmeleon decides not to obey Ash, Ash decides to whine about it, rather than send out his super duper effective Bulbasaur that could absolutely rinse through these fossil Pokemon like they were nothing. Or even get Pikachu to use Thunderbolt, which A, in the anime always solves everything, and B, is super effective against these water-type Pokemon. I say Thunderbolt solves everything, but today it literally caused the problem, in a way.
You know, for a guy who complained about school taking time out backflip, you have some nerve to say that, because you ranting about Ash choosing Charmeleon is about 90 seconds of it. Which I understood that, but at least you could address that. You skipped the scene of Ash whining about choosing him over Bulbasaur.
Oh my god, Brock actually sent out a Pokemon! Brock realizes they've exhausted all efforts to save Ash and Pikachu, so finally, begrudgingly, sends out Geodude to start helping move the boulders. It could have used Onyx, could have done a little bit faster, but let's take it one step at a time. It's progress. Well done, Brock, well done.
Let's just skim over the fact that Geodude doesn't even check behind itself before it starts lobbing boulders over its head. Have a bit of common sense, mate.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure Geodude is using
Rock Throw
to avoid that. And I say that because...
Anything Spy can do, Sniper does better. Sniper does everything better than Spy.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
Arbok and Weezing are getting battered as always, but this time I'll give them a pass, because it is 6 on 2.
Pikachu uses Electric Shock, not a move, but whatever, on the two Kabutops, and apparently it has no effect. Absolutely no effect. An electric attack having no effect on a rock and water type. For God's sake, Pokemon, if you're gonna make an anime based on one of your games, at least learn how your game works. Ash even says,
Electricity isn't gonna work.
well, it should. Why isn't it gonna work? They're rock and water. They're weak to electric attacks. Why is it not working? Swear this episode's gonna make me burst a blood vessel.
I'm with you on this. But children, the Bulldogs are not rock ground type. They are rock water type. The type combo that is weak to electric, not immune from it. What Pokemon game you play on? The bootleg ones? In fact, in episode 56, Focus Dub make fun of that scene. By an instructor saying Golem wasn't affected by electric type because its rock type is immune to it. At first, you may be confused about that line. Wouldn't make no sense, but after watching this scene, you understand why.
Charmeleon refuses to step in and help, and Ash cries,
Aw, it's useless.
do you know what's not useless? Your bloody Bulbasaur.
It was at this point that Liam knew. He f***ed up.
Ash shouts for Brock and Misty to get them out of the cave and to hurry up, and Aerodactyl grabs hold of Ash and starts heading for the cave entrance. See? Aerodactyl just wants to help. He might look scary, but he's actually really nice. Hashtag justice for Aerodactyl, please.
No. No to hashtag justice for Aerodactyl, Liam. And you know why I say that? Because anyone watched the episode? Aerodactyl just grabbed Ash to eat him later. Repeat that. Aerodactyl just grabbed Ash to
Eat him later.
And this guy say that w.t.f moment meant to be satirical and don't take it seriously. Satirical, so welcome.
This is bad comedy.
The boulders at the top of the cave start falling in, and miraculously none of them hit Aerodactyl, who's literally heading towards them. Honestly, the plot armor in this episode is off the charts, isn't it? Also, was that Misty and Brock's big rescue plan all along, to let the boulders fall into the cave? What if a helpless and injured Ash had been right beneath the entrance? They'd have killed him.
Yeah, maybe Brock should use Onyx to help out too. Instead, just Geodude alone.
Jigglypuff once again ignores impending danger just for the opportunity to pretend it's on stage. Delusional twat.
I genuinely love that Jigglypuff gets pissed off the moment Misty starts explaining that it wants to sing, because even though it doesn't speak English, I can totally hear it saying,
Will you please shut the hell up?
No, you don't. Because you would mistranslate what they didn't say. Or may actually say a slur or the N-word to them, which would be offensive to them. And I doubt that you try to understand what Ghost Lords say.
Oh, chill out, Gutsy. Patana excuse that. He's bored speaking backwards compared to yours.
Yeah, and put a translator on. You sound like a freaking lunatic without it.
Sorry about that. Just look at things when anyone talks about my force. I just find it that.
I think I take back what I said.
So do I.
Charmeleon and Aerodactyl look about to have the face-pulling battle of the century, but it ends after one round when Aerodactyl pulls out the older Kanbei. I mean, come on, how offensive can you get? Aerodactyl, if you're gonna go as far as to show the red part of your eyelid, you might as well have killed Charmeleon's family. Would have been a far more dignified end for it.
What? What in the hell was that?
Did Liam just say Aerodactyl far more dignifying ending is killing Charmeleon family? What do you think this scene of Aerodactyl doing? A back rub? Because I doubt that with those sharp-ass teeth it have.
Charmeleon throws such an intense bitch fit at the idea of being physically and mentally destroyed by Aerodactyl that it evolves into Charizard. That's the spirit, mate. If you can't beat Aerodactyl, double your rock weakness. Wait.
You mean the same Pokemon who lack of rock type moves in G1? That one?
I've been wanting to ask this for ages, but does anybody else feel like Charizard looks a lot less intimidating when they show it from this angle? Just looks like a big orange dog, doesn't it?
Oh please, that face is less so front look compared to what Reddit has. No serious look at this.
Ash realizes that Charizard is only attacking Aerodactyl for revenge and not because it wants to save Ash, which is obvious, but it's got me wondering. Do you think Charizard always ignored Ash because it wanted Ash to take it back to Damien, its original trainer, so it could prove to its original trainer just how strong it's become? Like, I know eventually Charizard does start listening to Ash, but maybe that's how long it took Charizard to get over Damien. This is why I don't do Pokemon theories.
Yeah, you should. Because it doesn't make any sense when you remember that Charmeleon is very optimistic about Ash than he does with Dean before evolving into Charmeleon. But did you forget what Dean did to him? Which this is what I'm talking about in a debunk video. If you don't find a reason in your evidence, you destroy the evidence. Besides, this is more like the Charmeleon evolution accidentally fused with exhaustion from stopping Executor Rampage, which caused by Ash while in Magician Hypnotic beating.
What does that do? Did that blow your mind? That just happened. Catchphrase?
Misty tells Jigglypuff to start singing, and apparently Charizard is the only being in that area that's smart enough to cover its ears. Everyone else just lets Jigglypuff's song put them to sleep, knowing full well that if they're asleep, they can't see if things worked out.
Also, how is Jigglypuff's song being amplified here? It's singing into a marker pen?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense to me either. Like it's an ink pen, not movement.
Charizard catches Ash before he can fall to his death and lands him safely on the ground. As Ash rolls off Charizard's back, he lands beside a random Pokémon egg. And I firmly believe that that egg belongs to one of the other trainers in the area and that what we're seeing here are the seeds being sown for a crime. Trust me.
You sure about that? Because if it is, then someone at the dig site would say, "Hey, with my Togepi egg." But since it's not, then it must be a wild Togekiss egg that's being rolled out from the nest.
After everyone wakes up, Officer Jenny goes full government cover-up mode, explaining that the area is now closed off in case there's further cave collapses and that nobody saw an Aerodactyl, it was all just hallucinations from Jigglypuff's song. I want to know why the feds are trying to cover up the existence of Aerodactyl here. Something just doesn't feel right.
Oh, gee, I wonder why.
I really love that Jigglypuff couldn't think of what to draw on Gary's cheerleaders, so just labeled them A through E.
Correction, they are labeled as A to F. You want to say that because two Gary's cheerleaders with letters on their faces are switched places, which is a bit opportunity to WTF moment there.
Direct quote from Misty. That Aerodactyl is one of a kind. No, it isn't.
Yes, it is one of a kind. Because Misty is referring to Aerodactyl that is a live fossil Pokemon without scientists' technology able to resurrect it.
And here it is. Ash stole that other trainer's egg.
Now the markings all being red earlier, and now some of them being red and some of them being blue isn't a big deal. Maybe the blue markings take longer to develop on the outside of the egg, I don't know, but it's fine.
But the main thing here is we all know what this egg hatches into. We know this egg has to have come from a Togetic, a Togekiss, or a Ditto. Because whilst a female Aerodactyl might be in the same egg group as Togetic and Togekiss, it can only lay Aerodactyl eggs.
What? Female Aerodactyl? Why the heck do you only mention the female Aerodactyl? Because Aerodactyl had an 80% chance to be male than female. Are you saying that Aerodactyl always female when resurrected from fossil? What?
That means that this egg has not come from one of the wild Pokemon we've seen in this episode. Which means the most likely scenario is one of the other trainers in the area had been traveling with this egg in the hopes of hatching it. The trainer likely heard all the commotion about what was going on with Ash and rushed over to help in the rescue effort, moving all the boulders and whatnot. And they would have quickly put the egg down because there wasn't a moment to lose. They needed to help Ash. And then, of course, at the end of it, Jigglypuff put them to sleep. Clearly, by the time this trainer awoke, Ash must have stuffed the egg into his backpack thinking no one would notice, but I noticed. That means that Ash Ketchum is a more successful Pokemon thief than Jesse and James combined. He pulled off the heist of the century and stole this Togepi egg. Lock him up! Lock the bastard up! The kid's a criminal.
Okay, that's the leap in logic, Duncan. Then it should be in the Pokemon Egg case. You know, to indication that it's owned by someone. And before saying anything, yes, the game doesn't have one, but the anime does, with Ash Thampi egg, a second egg, which given by Pokemon Daycare. And since Togepi egg isn't in the egg case, do I say more or do I have to hold your hand?
Brock then steals the egg from Ash, which serves him bloody right. Or is this a part of Ash's master plan? Willingly allow Brock to take possession of the egg, so when the police come asking questions, Ash can plead ignorance and pretend he didn't even know that Brock had an egg with him. Ash is a criminal mastermind.
Time out!
Did Liam just assuming that Ash is using Brock as a scapegoat to avoid police suspicion?
You racist son of a...
Also, Team Rocket are stranded till the next episode, yada yada yada. But more importantly, I can't unsee Kabutops sleeping like this. This is creepy as hell.
Yeah, that's the point. Like, have you seen what Kabutops base of look like?